We welcome back to the show Pauline Black. So how's it going, Pauline?
Well, fine. Fine, actually, yes. Yeah, really good. How are you? Good?
Yeah, very good. How's your year been?
Well, the year has been particularly eventful, I think, this year. You know, I mean, we've had a new album, we've had a March tour, another new album, a live album, and we've just finished the tour for that in October, and we're about to go off to Australia in 3 weeks' time for the first ever Selector tour in Australia. And next year, we've got a 19-date tour in March 2013, and then we're off to America.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah, it has been fairly eventful, and I mean, we've got a new album on the boil at the moment, titled String Theory, so yeah, it's really good.
What can you tell us about your new album?
It's a collection of songs. It will be between 10 and 12 songs. We haven't made the final pick yet. And really, I think that we're just sort of continuing the theme. I mean, you know, we started off with two-tone. Made in Britain was very much talking about multiculturalism, because here we are 30 years later, and I think very much that, you know, things have moved on, and, you know, black people, white people getting along together. I see that every day of the week, and I dare say that most people do on their streets that they actually live in. And I felt very much that, you know, and the Selector felt that was something that ought to be promoted. Which is really what Made in Britain was trying to do. You know, all of us in the band at the moment were all, if you like, made in Britain, but we're all very varying kinds of people, from different backgrounds and all the rest of it. And I think this is a great thing about Britain. So I think for String Theory, what we wanted to do was try and show sort of, if you like, the connections between people, because it isn't just about this country. You know, we now live in a global world, and people are all joined up. We're joined together, and it's, I think as well, you could turn around and say that all songs begin, if you like, certainly in our band, with 6 strings and the vocal cords of whoever happens to be singing them. So that whole thing about strings sort of just kind of, you know, made it feel very together.
Yeah, and when is this going to be released? Do you know yet?
Yeah, we'll be released in time for the March tour.
Oh, great. And in this tour, you're going all over the place, aren't you?
We are, yeah.
And coming to Brighton as well, so that's good.
Yeah, we're always, we like the Concorde too very much. Yeah, we're going everywhere. I mean, you know, from Scotland all the way down into the southwest as well, and all places kind of in between.
And is this the first time you would have been to Australia yourself, or?
Myself, no. My mother lives in Australia, and I have a sister who lives there too. So I've been a number of times, but this is the first time the Selector has been.
So they can come and see you out there then?
Well, yeah, there'll be a whole load of people who'll be coming to see us. Yeah,
as well as everybody else, I mean.
A family affair, yeah.
Yeah. So your newest album out at the moment is Live in Britain. So this is this all your hits live, basically?
Well, it's really culled from a number of things. I mean, not just from that particular album. It's also, you know, from the new album as well. You know, there's 2 tracks from the new album on there. We just wanted to give people, I suppose, a flavour of what they could expect if they came to see us. I mean, we know that these days that, you know, if you're in a band like our own, that it's very much seen as a kind of heritage act or whatever, but we just feel that, you know, the heritage of two-tone is great, and it's something to be really pushed, and I think it's still as relevant today as it was 30 years ago. But I think that, you know, a good band worth its salt does new music. Definitely.
And it's a good thing to do, isn't it, a live album?
Well, it was very much an interim, I suppose, to do between the 2 studio albums. When we came back, it was really to celebrate kind of 30 years since Too Much Pressure. We very quickly did the Made in Britain album because we felt that we wanted to get something out there that was new and said something about us and the way that we felt about now. You know, and Mojo magazine was very kind enough to sort of say that Made in Britain, you know, could stand side by side with the Too Much Pressure album. In terms of, you know, both the sound of it and in terms of, you know, what we were trying to say at the time. And for our October tour, our autumn tour that we've just finished, we felt that all the people that had come along to the March gigs, which was really our first outing as a band promoting a new album, those people kind of deserve something, because they were obviously going to come along to this tour, and hopefully new people were going to come along. And it was a question of, really giving something back to them, saying, this is what got recorded during all those gigs. And, a thank you, really, for both supporting us and for coming along to those shows and making them the shows that they were.
Yeah, and you can also get a lovely LP of it, can't you?
You can indeed, yes. If you go to www.vocaphonemusic.com, you can purchase a lovely vinyl album and the Made in Britain album too. We've still got some of those.
Yeah, I might be getting one of them, because lovely artwork on there. I do like LPs.
Well, yes, and I mean the artwork on both albums was done by John Sims, who is, hails from back in the day, really. We all knew him when he was at Chrysalis, an art director there. And we wanted to go back to the source of that kind of feel about, the vinyl and that meticulous detail that he brings to stuff. And he did both singles last year, Big in the Body, Small in the Mind, and he did our Back to Black single, and he did the Made in Britain cover, and he did the Live in Britain too. We'll be continuing that relationship with him. It's like our link with the past, if you like. But I mean, that's his job, that's what he does, is design, and we wanted to, bring him along too. Say, yeah, here we are 30 years later, but we're still doing what we do and what we do best.
Could you pick for me one of your favourite ska or reggae songs that you love?
My favourite ska or reggae song?
Or one of these.
It's kind of a difficult one, really, I suppose. I think probably I would have to say Nora Dean's Barbed Wire.
Oh, that's great, yeah.
I just think it's just so fantastic, and there's so few women around, really. I mean, there's loads of women around, but I mean, they don't normally maybe either get played or, bigged up in that kind of way. I just think that's a total classic, that song. And it's funny, it's innovative, it's a really good rhythm, it's a beautiful voice. All of those things. It's definitely one of my favourites.
And it was very controversial at the time, wasn't it?
I'm sure it was controversial at the time. Probably be quite controversial these days.
Yeah, they're the best songs, though, usually.
Indeed.
You also made a Christmas single last year, Scant Till Christmas. Any plans of a new one this year?
I don't know. I mean, we may still kind of, put that out as such, and let people know that we did that. It was very made on the hoof, that one. And we didn't know whether we were going to do it or
very
not.
Very catchy. Lots of people.
Yeah, we just did it kind of for I wouldn't say a laugh, but we just thought it would be a bit of fun,
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's what I mean. It was different because
people tend to look at the selector and think, they're maybe a bit kind of, serious and things like this. So we just thought it would be funny to do that. So that's exactly what we did.
It was a good laugh. I liked the bit in the song where it was saying about the Xbox and the bling bling.
Yeah, and the bling bling, yeah.
Well, thanks a lot for joining us on the show, Pauline.
Thank you. That was my pleasure, Chris, and thank you very much for asking us.
That's all right, and we're looking forward to seeing you in Brighton and all over the place. It would be great.
Yeah. Well, we always love Brighton.
Yeah. All right then. Thanks a lot, Pauline.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Take care.